Hello there, I'm Mr Doodle and today I'm going to be doing a big doodle on this wall. And you can do this in your house too. You just got to get some paper and put it onto the wall and use some masking tape to hold it up. And here we go. Okay, so what we're going to start with up here is just a big oval, and I'm going to make this into a guy. It's a little guy with two eyes and a nose, and maybe he's a businessman. This is a little businessman with a buttoned shirt, and he's holding a briefcase because this businessman's off to work today and he's going to do some spectacular work at his office. It's a Monday morning and he's feeling very cheery and he's off to work and he's going to maybe get a promotion because he's done really well at his job recently. He's very happy about that. So he's going this way across the arrow. The arrow is pointing him into downtown Doodleland. So what's going on in downtown Doodleland? Well, there's a little turtle with one eye and he's got a neck and that's leading to his shell. His shell's here and that's got some spiky shapes going on up there. And the little turtle type thing has got two legs and a tail because sometimes they have tails but we don't always know why, and there's a little heart in the middle because this man just loves little tortoises and turtles. Anything from the deep blue sea he's a fan of. Even though everything's black and white in Doodleland, nothing really has colour unless sometimes I feel like adding colour. But sometimes you might want to add colour. It doesn't really matter. If you want to add colour, that's fine. It's up to you. And there's a little square man up here with a nose and little feet. And he's got two little arms and he's saying, hello there everybody. I live in Doodle World and everything is quite fantastic. So down here we have the office that the man is going to. It's a small square building with a roof. The roof's got some lines and it's got a little window as well because everybody deserves to look outside the window when they're working so that they can see the bright sun, and the sun's going to go here right underneath the turtle, and it's got some excellent rays, and perhaps the man working will get a raise as well when he gets his promotion, so that'll be splendid. Wouldn't that be splendid, everybody? And there's a robot down here. The robot's got a little antenna and it's on its side because the robot's been knocked over. But it's still happy because it doesn't mind about being knocked over. It's a robot and it doesn't have many human feelings just yet. It hasn't been programmed that way. But it's got two little shoes and lovely legs, and the robot's arms are going up this way. Perhaps this robot is going to steal this man's job. And yes, he is. He's got a big money bag right here, and that big money bag's got lots of pounds inside because the robot is very rich indeed. And there's a little character here with two eyes and a smiley face, and it's just enjoying life, having a good time, a good fun time indeed. And there's little details on the robot's arms. Got to get those details in. And perhaps there's a little fishy down here. The fish is just going straight down to the water, right where the tortoise came from, because the tortoise has come out of the water just for some lunch today, but the fish needs to go back down to the sea because it needs to go and see its family. It hasn't seen its family for quite a while, so it's going to pop down and say hello. And I think we should put a tree over here because trees can be good for nature and people like to breathe, and trees create good air for people to breathe, and that's always fine. So we'll put the little trunk of the tree right there. And oh, how about a lady creature? There's a lady creature right down here with some nice hair, and she's got one eye and some eyelashes and a little nose and a smile. And she's just walking along with her dress and she's going, oh, hello everyone. I'm right down here and you're all up there, and I'm just going to walk around here and dance. So she's got her little feet, her high heels are on because she thinks it's going to be a good day today and she might as well make the most of it. So wear those high heels and just walk around and have fun. And how about a little crazy creature down here? He's listening to some music, so he's got some headphones on. He's thinking, cool, it's a really cool song that I'm listening to, so I'm going to put my arms up in the air and be like, yeah man, I really like this song, it's awesome. But he's not particularly showing it because he's kind of in a trance because he's so into the song, he just can't think about anything else. So he might end up walking into the lady, so they don't really know they're going to hit each other because they're both not really looking at each other. They're just looking around and ignoring the entire world around them because they're too busy focused on themselves, you see. And there's a three-eyed little creature down here, and it's got little eyelashes. And you might have seen there, I made a mistake because the eyeballs went over the top of the creature that I'm drawing space, but I changed that little mistake into a nose. So it's important to try and change your mistakes when you make them, because then every little mistake that you make becomes part of the drawing and part of the learning process, and that's just fantastic. There's no problem with that at all. So there's a little another creature down here. He's quite circular, and he's just thinking, well, it's got some horns, and he's thinking, I'm going to do a little dance down here while everyone gets along with their day. So how about we put an octopus type jellyfish type thing over here? It doesn't really matter if your creatures are what you want them to be, because they'll just change into what they're meant to be when you put your pen to the paper. The important thing is to not think too much about what you're doing when you're doing a doodle, because when you're doing a doodle, it's just about having fun and making pictures that you feel like making. You don't need to do them for any particular purpose. You just need to make sure that you do them, because you lose the game when you start to think about it too much. You start to worry about what's right and wrong when you're making the artwork, and that's really not what we want to do. We want to have a good time. And I think when we have a good time, everyone around us has a good time too. So let's try and keep these creatures happy. But if you want to make them sad, then that doesn't matter. You can make them sad if you want to make them sad. And we're going to put a little creature up here, and it's smiling, having a joyful time in the sky. And how about we do a hot air balloon? So we do circular objects, and the more you draw circles, the easier it becomes. At first it might seem quite daunting, but when the circles are meant to become things, it really doesn't matter. You start to just think about the thing that they are rather than the circle. And then you stop thinking about the circle, and when you stop thinking, you tend to succeed in what you're trying to draw, because you're not overdoing it. You're not worried about where the pen's going to go, and you end up drawing the right things, the things that you want to see on the paper. So what else should we draw? So we draw some patterns here and some lines for the hot air balloon, because it needs some detail as it's going through the cloudy sky. The clouds are also very happy because they've been in Doodle World for quite some time, and they just live in the sky and get to see everything that's going on. Even when they're raining, they're still very happy because the people below them get to drink the rain. So this little dinosaur type creature is looking up at the cloud, and it wants to drink the rain. So it hasn't drunk anything in a long time, so it's thinking, oh yes, I can drink this cloud rain. That sounds fantastic. It's got a tail and two arms that are sort of celebrating because it's going to drink the happy rain that's falling down from the cloud. And yum yum, yes indeed, that is superb. And how about some more details underneath the hot air balloon? A little square eyeball just out of nowhere, because sometimes little eyeballs are always watching us in the form of cameras. These are some CCTV cameras attached to the hot air balloon that are going to film the downflight of the hot air balloon, and that's just fantastic. And some little dots on the cloud as well. And how about we do a big burger down here? So this is a big cheeseburger. You might enjoy eating cheeseburgers. You might not eat cheeseburgers at all. You might think that cheeseburgers are disgusting, but it doesn't really matter what you think of them, because you can just draw them to have fun. You don't have to like or dislike the things you're drawing. But if you don't want to draw certain things, then you don't have to draw certain things. This world is completely yours, and you can draw whatever you like. It really doesn't matter. I mean, you just let it out. Let out what is inside your hand and let it go onto the paper, because that's the best way to do it, I think. And then you can process your ideas later on. So how about some long legs for the burger? The burger's legs are going to go down all the way down here, and we'll put some detail on those legs. It's the same kind of detail that we put onto the robot earlier. And maybe we'll put the burger onto a skateboard, because it's skating around Doodleland thinking, woohoo, I'm having a brilliant time, just going past all the houses and the brickwork in the background, and little snaky type things going up here. It wants to eat the burger. It's got a big tail, big tongue coming out of its mouth, and it's thinking, I'm going to eat that burger. It's going to be fantastic when I get my big fork into it, and I'm going to put it all down my stomach. But the thing is, that snake probably isn't really big enough to eat that burger anyway. So, but that doesn't really matter. The logic doesn't really come into the doodle as much as fun has to come first before logic. Because when you're drawing, it doesn't really need to make sense. it just needs to, well, it doesn't really need to do anything. That's the kind of beauty of it, really. You don't have to do anything with the drawing. You just do what you want. That's really what I want you to do, is just do what you want. So that's fine. And you may think that, well, this drawing is almost done now, but that doesn't matter because it's on paper. We can just take down the drawing after, and we can sell it, we can keep it, we can frame it, we can gift it to our friends, or give it to a charity, or a nice home where someone will really enjoy it, or just keep it for yourself. It doesn't matter, but the beauty of doing it on paper is that you can just put some more paper up and do it again. So this character up here has got a little hat on top of his head, and he's just having a good time up there, and so is this little character up there, and they're just enjoying themselves. This one's on top of a car because he recently bought this car so that he can go through Doodle City. And when I draw cars, I like to draw them from the side on, because then you get more of a kind of profile of what the car is. The car's got 2 windows and 2 little wheels, and you can be inside the car, but I often like to put the characters on top of the car, because then, you know, it's kind of funny. I mean, when you go outside into the real world, you don't see characters or people sitting on top of cars, but in Doodle World you can see that. So that's kind of what I like to do, is create things that you might not see in the real world, but you might think are quite fun to be in the real world. Like, what would it be like if this character was on top of a car? And equally, what would it be like if this flower, this big flower down here, had a smiley face? Well, I think that'd be very pleasant. So how about we do a little smiley face on the flower? Yes, there we go. It's very happy indeed. And it's got some petals and a stalk as we come down the stalk. And I always like to put myself into the drawing. So this is me. I am Mr Doodle, and usually I draw myself with some big curly hair on top of my head, and a little nose and a smile, and of course a small little beard and big hands saying hello, I'm Mr Doodle. Now I usually draw my characters with 3 or 4 fingers, but in real life I actually have 4 fingers and a thumb, but it doesn't really matter, because in the drawing it's really about space and what you've got space for, and as long as someone kind of understands what it is, what you're drawing, then who minds? No one really minds. You just have to, as I keep saying, don't worry too much about what's going on, just have fun with it, and then other people will have fun too. So we're finishing off the drawing now, just adding some more small details here and there. A couple of happy faces, some smiley faces, a few drops and things, just to go inside everything that we've made, connecting it all together, pointing at certain bits. Little kind of snail type thing down here, because snails are slow, and this one's quite slow to the party. It's the last to join, or the second last to join, because there's another character here. And a little camera filming me, because that's really what's happening right now. And on the pen's smiling too, because it got to create this whole world. And then you've got a little tiny little snake type thing down here as well. And then you've got to make sure to sign it as well. So I'm just signing it down there, Mr Doodle. And I think we're almost done. Yes, I think we're done. So there we go. It's a finished doodle pretty much. Just add a few more bits in between the bits that you see missing, and there we go. Thanks for watching, and have a doodly day.